My name is Olga, and this is my channel about startups. And today I'm gonna talk about finding a co-founder in a startup or hiring a co-founder. And first of all, I want you to remember that a co-founder is someone who has a share, a part of the company, some shares in this company. That's the difference between co-founders and employees. And usually co-founders come quite early to a startup to help build it from an idea to a business. And this is very important to hire right people or to involve or to attract right people, because co-founders, they are like your spouses. They will be with you in difficult times, they will be with you in hard times, they will share with you all the problems, etc. And it is very important to be on the same page with co-founders. It is very important to share the same values, beliefs, to have the same needs, to see your startup the same. It is very, very important from the beginning to find right people. And there is a questionnaire that will help you do so. So let's go through some questions that are there. There are a couple of blocks, different blocks, and we will start with the first one, how you operate. So first question, tell me about your strengths and superpowers. And don't forget that this questionnaire is going to be two sides questionnaire. So you also need to answer these questions in front of your potential co-founder so you know it's a perfect marriage. Second question, what are your weaknesses? Everyone has weaknesses, and how do you compensate for them? So we talk about strengths and weaknesses of each other. So what are the words that your former co-founders use to describe you? What would they want me to know about you? How is it like to work with you? It's talking about your past or your potential co-founder past. How do you deal with conflicts? Describe me some time when you had a conflict and how you worked it out. And tell me about a situation when you worked it out well and time when you didn't work it out well. So these questions are about a personality of your co-founder and your personality and how you dealt with conflicts, what are your weaknesses, strengths, etc. What was your worst in personal conflict? How did you handle it? So it's all about this part of the questions, all about personality of your potential co-founder, and you can see in case of conflict what's going to happen. Of course, this person can be not very discreet and lie, but hopefully not. How do you cope with stress? That's very important to understand when your co-founder is in stress and help him cope with stress or depression. Are there any red flags? How can I help you? So how did you arrive at your convictions? What are your key mental models you use to be creative, solve problems, make decisions? All these questions help you kind of draw a personality of this potential co-founder. Describe your work style, what techniques you use for personal productivity. And that's a tricky question, how many hours and weeks you're willing to work, for how long, what sounds good, and are there different expectations for different phases? For example, okay, we work hard at the beginning, but then we raise round A, let's say, and we can hire more people, and I'm gonna work only normal working hours, which is kind of also fine, but you have to know that from the beginning. And that's about how you operate, what's your personality, how you work. Next part is very important. What the roles are going to be in our startup between you and me and maybe someone else. So what would you want your role to be before we reach product market fit, and how this role is going to change when we reach product market fit? For example, your potential co-founder might want to be just an engineer before we reach product market fit, and he wants to program everything himself. But when we reach product market fit, he wants to be CTO and he wants to hire a team. How do you see role changing in the company when the company starts to scale? If your role becomes unavailable, which might happen because the board of directors might want to hire someone more professional, what would be your next role, for example? This question number 13 about areas of responsibility. So you basically draw this chart and you scale, kind of put a number on each of it, scale it from 1 to 10. Okay, in sales, I have 9, I'm a perfect salesperson, etc. So you scale it or you rate it, and then you also rate it depending on your passion. For example, I'm a great salesperson, 9, but I don't have passion for it anymore. So passion is 1 or 0, right? And then based on these ratings, you decide how they could be assigned to individuals. For example, if we assign it based on what we are good at or what we have passion for. Next part is about corporate structure and funding, because you also, if you find a co-founder, this co-founder will be your partner, and he also can say something when you fundraise or you find funds that want to be on your board of directors, etc. So he has some say in there, or maybe even veto. What should our startup where should our startup be based? Do we want it to be remote, our job, or we want to meet in the office? What is your status? Do you need visa, green card? Do you have criminal record? How should founder equity be set? Should we do an employee equity pool? If you don't know what it is, on my channel you can find out videos about that. What should be our approach to compensation, cash, equity, how we're going to motivate ourselves and early employees. How much money should we raise? 0, as much as we can. Should we bootstrap it or go big or go home, etc.? How do we see our startup in 5-10 years? What matters most in a funder, that meaning the VC fund? Do we have to do reference check on a potential VC? What traits are we looking for? Because VCs also help startups later on, not only invest. Who are we looking for? What is our ideal exit? Do we work 1-2 years and sell it for 7 figures, or we work 10 years plus, reach 9 figures in revenue, we go IPO, we become profitable? How do we see our startup in 2, 5, 7, 10 years? How do we think about the time frame and pace of success? Are we willing to take longer path? How long are you willing to stay with this company? What would be the number we can sell it for? How can we got extra liquidity from our exit positions? What do we do if we find product market fit, but we are not excited about the product? Can one co-founder fire another co-founder? Can somebody else fire a co-founder? Next part. So we talked about company equity motivation, personal motivation. Why do you want to start a company, particular company? Why now, in general, etc.? What would be the success? What motivates you personally? What impact do you want to have? Do you want to just get rich, or you want to change the world? Is control or success more important? For example, are you willing to get more, are you looking for to control the company yourself, or you want just financial success and you want to involve more investors and dilute? What makes you gritty? What excites you? What do you admire most in your organization, family, friends, and why? We are trying again to understand this person more. What are you most proud of in your work career and life? when have you taken a chance when others did not? So when you been willing to take unpopular decision? What companies and products do you like? Is it possible to build a widely successful company without burning or out or damaging other parts of your life? So what about your life, work-life balance? How do you see it? Next part, commitment and finance. Will this company be your primary activity? Do you have any commitments, loans? Do you have any other money set aside? So what is your financial status? How do you see these commitment changes in next 6 months, 2 years? Maybe a person says, I won't just be my part-time job. What is your personal runway, current burn rate? How much money do you need to operate? What is your minimum salary you need to survive? What is your comfort level? And what is the level when you feel, oh, I made it? What should be the policy of co-founders advising consulting to other companies? That's a good question, because some people advise someone and there it could be a conflict of interests when this person joins your startup. So you have to make sure this person doesn't consult someone like your competitor. Team culture. So complete the sentence. It would make you proud to hear people describe this company's culture as. And here goes values of your startup. What would be your values? What would be your philosophy on how to attract and retain great people? So what would be your HR philosophy? What process or techniques would you use to get the most out of your team? For example, how would you help them become better managers and achieve their goals? So what would be your team play values inside your team, goals? How would you operate? How much time do you hope to spend either working or socializing with coworkers? Do you want socializing with coworkers? How important is diversity inclusion? So would you be a diverse team? And the last part, co-founder relationship. How are you going to prioritize and make time for our co-founder relationship? We need some time together, right? Because we are co-founders. How would we resolve personal conflict between ourselves? Court case, or we will resolve it ourselves? In case this becomes part of our partnership's evolution, how would you go about handling and startup divorce? If company can be more successful in that case, would we divorce? Would we, would you leave the company or I leave the company? What happens in the scenario where we aren't growing? How would we diagnose the problem? How have each of our capabilities and approach contributed to growth failure in our pasts? So how would we say, would we agree to talk and I can say, well, that was part of my failure. Let me explain. Are we ready to say that? Are we ready to accept that we made some wrong decisions? In every partnership, there are times when a partner might breed resentment if certain dissatisfaction don't change over time. How would we deal in this situation? How would we think about bringing someone else, a third co-founder in our company? And wrap-up question, now we know each other's weaknesses, passions, strong traits, needs, and constraints. How we're going to make each other successful. So basically, do you think it's going to be a successful partnership or not, based on all these questions we've just went through? So that's a questionnaire. You might use just part of these questions, all of these questions, up to you, but you have to remember it's very important to be on the same page when you hire or find a co-founder. Good luck.